Wow, camera was a slow transition. What the hell? Oh, stop it, Discord. What are you doing? There we go. Stop it. Oh, that's a great way to
We're
start
professionals,
our
I
return from
swear.
a hiatus. So, hey everybody, it's Fight Club Hubs. Welcome back to another amazing episode of GVN Live. We had to take an extensive break because
Thanks,
shit
COVID.
and giggles and life happened. To start things off, though, I just want to say thank you for returning, all three of you loyal fans out there, and and on a mental note, Jan, I'm going to need an updated picture or model of Celadon,
Mm.
your avatar for the intro now, because this will be
Mm-mm.
like the third time I've had to change it. And
Oh, sounds like
anyway,
a you problem, but we'll figure it out.
But anyway, we are going to start the show off trying to get to know everybody, how they've been, how they're feeling. And we're going to start by going around the circle. We will go clockwise. Jan, how are you? What have you been up to? What are you doing? And just give it all to us.
Hmm. I'm good. I've been good. I'm 2+2, and I think that's fine. I've had both my shots. I'm good to go as far as that part's concerned. But it's not like I leave my house anyway since I work from home.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm sure Mark can relate.
Yep.
um, Shit, I don't know. I've been hanging out. We've been doing stuff. We've been streaming at least 3 days a week. Got some friends. We're doing Danganronpa again. Started with the first one because it's Okami's first time ever playing the series, so that's fun. Uh, Started picking back up Virtual Fighter again because I heard about Ultimate Showdown, and then that came out last week, so I've been playing that a bunch.
Yeah, isn't it amazing how
Uh,
there was nothing but silence about Virtua Fighter for like 7 months straight, and then they come out with like, oh, hey, we're going to release this game soon. Oh, hey, it's going to release next week.
Yeah, they like shadow dropped Ultimate Showdown on us like a bunch of buttholes, but you know what? Whatever. It turned out pretty solid. The gameplay is fantastic. It's definitely a true return to form for Virtua Fighter as a whole, which I'm excited about. The concept of online with absorb netcode is weird.
I mean, the word nut
It does
code
get
is
weird hit or
way
miss.
better than it was on the PS3 and 360, and I have to say it's a lot better than what I felt for Tekken. The
I
updated
mean,
netcode.
yeah,
So
I mean, you're
Sega might
not
have found
wrong.
something as like an in between rollback and the old
Mm,
school like netcoding, because actually from what I
Maybe.
heard, rollback netcoding is actually very difficult to do for 3D fighting games. As
Yeah,
a
yes and no, but like at the same time, I also understand why Sega did what they did is because this is what they're used to. They're used to server-based absorb netcode anyway. They're used to relay technology because that's how it works. That's how it worked, I should say, because they closed their two big Shinjuku arcades.
mm-hmm.
Um, that's how it worked for the primary arcades that Sega had. A lot of their smaller ones still operate the same way locally within Tokyo and Kyoto. So like
Mm-hmm.
that's not a big deal for them. But like this is a technology that they're wholly committed to, and the fact that they've gotten so many across the world to really make Ultimate Showdown work the way they want it to, and have it not be trash, that's good for them. I'm glad that Sega really did what they needed to do to sort of think it through as best they could, honestly. I feel like there's still some hiccups, there's still some connections that are not so good.
I don't
But
know. I've had some amazing connections with people from Europe and Japan. I've played a few of those.
I mean, I have too, but I also know people who were literally half a state away from each other, and they had the worst connections ever. So it's really hit or miss.
Probably Wi-Fi
Um,
warriors, but who knows?
no, they're both connected. They're both on Ethernet, and they had about 8 frames of lag, and they were less than 100 miles from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't know about that.
Yeah.
It's like there are plenty of skeptics and there are plenty of good connections. So it's just we've got to it's brand new. It's been out for what, a week. I think we'll see we'll see once we get a little bit more time on the online to see whether or not it really was a good idea. But unfortunately, Strive came out today, so good luck.
What game came out today?
Guilty Gear Strive.
Oh yeah, sure. Enjoy that. I kind of fell off the Guilty Gear bandwagon. I picked up Zerd at some point, like a few years ago, and I'm just like, I just never got into it like I used to with like AC Accent Core. Key.
Well, I mean, the plus R community has been fantastic recently, especially since they implemented rollback into plus R. So like, tons of people started playing Guilty Gear again. So it's a thriving community. So a lot of people are interested to see what Strive actually does, see if the connection issues and the lobbies are actually working as intended now, and I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of positivity coming from that community, so it'll be good to see them improve and see it grow again, which will be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'm pretty much just waiting for tomorrow.
Yay! What's tomorrow for you?
New Genesis.
Oh yeah. My download kind of hung up, so I'm going to try and re-download it later.
That's fine.
I mean, actually, Windows Store automatically was starting to download it for some reason, and it hung up at the very end. So I'm gonna attempt to do it. For whatever reason, I mean, I did do the Steam download for PSO2 for a while, but I was just like, I'm already attempting to get all the achievements. I might as well get the Windows version. But if you have ARCs, you don't have to worry about the issue that you've been having with the Windows Store version where it uninstalls.
Yeah, I could just go get dropped out. Yeah, I stopped using the Windows version as soon as Steam came out, and then I pretty much just made sure that my Arc Slayer works with both my Steam and my Japanese account, and I'll probably be playing my Japanese account tomorrow, and then when I go live, I'll be on my US account, and it'll be fun. I'm gonna go hard in the paint. I'm gonna be doing a lot more baseline, just catered content, a lot of videos, a lot of trials, a lot of the cocoons and the towers and stuff. I'm gonna try to solo, and I'm just gonna make videos for it, and that's all gonna go up on my Twitch.
I have been trying my hardest to ignore everything about Genesis because I want to really go into this. Like after the initial trailers I saw, I really want to go into this blind and experience it, like as a brand new experience. Aside from PSO2 being an open world experience or something like that. So.
I mean, you're definitely gonna get blown away because going from a lobby-based system to an open-world system was phenomenal during the beta.
So in other words, it's kind of like going from Guild Wars 1 to Guild Wars 2.
Hey, MPI.
Yeah.
Are you as absolutely fucking lost right now as I am?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh well, guess what? Sit down there and wait your turn. You'll get your chance to talk.
Could you at least explain what the fuck you're actually talking about? That'd be nice.
I mean, it's not my fault you don't keep up with the current lingo of MMORPGs and fighting games and ick.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I have sex with real women.
See, I thought all of those things were fighting games. That's how far off we are.
I understand. Well, no, I'm currently talking about Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. It's basically PSO3, but they didn't want to brand it differently because they figured if they name it PSO2, they'll just get all of the people who just got into PSO2 Global to stick around and play the new game.
Also, we all remember PSO3 sucked.
It was a card game!
That's
Fuck
episode
that
3. Shit. Episode 3.
It was a card battling game, and I was so disappointed.
I fucking bought that and tried to return it the same day.
Sorry, I'm also watching the Sixers game on the side, and they just made a half-court shot at the end of the quarter. Three-pointer. Yeah. That was amazing.
Aaron says, I thought they were speaking another language entirely. Aaron, I thought they were having a stroke, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it was just like those GIFs of all the numbers going in front of people's faces. That's kind of what was going on in my brain.
It do be like that sometimes.
I think we're the only hardcore gamers now at this point, Jan. It makes me kind of sad that they're not up to tab like we are.
I abstain.
You're being nice. That's fine.
No, it's
the only real hardcore gamers. No, I wash my genitals. Thank you.
God damn. Oh. See, that's why I wasn't going to say anything.
No, that's all he's got because he's got nothing else other than just trying to insult
Hey, Robert. Fucking bathe.
I mean, obviously I do because look at how nice and clean shaven I am, you dumb motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you just got so old that your beard hairs are falling out.
I wish that was a thing that could happen.
Wow.
I don't know, man. The fact that you're sitting there in hellfire all the time, I think you're the one that needs to bathe from all the sweating you're doing.
Nah, the fire burns it away. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure
was
it burns it
about
away.
to say,
I'm hoping it
there's
burns the fungus away
literally
that's
no
going
room
underneath
for
your
conversation.
nutsack, too.
Wow. You know what? No, this is fine. Y'all keep going. I guess if we're just gonna let Logan Paul fight fucking Mayweather, we'll just let you guys duke it out in the fucking ring.
I mean, at least this will be a real fight.
Yeah.
No, it won't. I'm gonna fucking knock him out and fucking hold him up for 30 seconds too.
Please. Please. You don't want to go there. I work in a fucking meat department where all we do is insult each other all day. You don't want to go there.
Good. That's
Yeah,
fine.
but I'm funny.
But I hurt feelings that make people want to quit their job.
Yeah, but I'm funny.
Well,
It's been
what I say
it's
is funny
been
too, but
15
it's not going to be
minutes.
funny for you.
We've been back 15 minutes after what, more than 6 months away, and these two just don't miss a fucking beat.
Well, it's more like
Right?
more like
You know?
3 months away. I think we only did like 2 shows, and that was in February, and that was it.
Yeah, it's been like 4 months. It's been like 4 months.
Yeah. I got the COVID, and then we never came back.
We've got to make up for lost time. It's been 4 months that we haven't been fucking horrible to each other.
I know.
You know,
so-
you're right. You're right.
See, that's what I call true friendship. I
Yeah,
haven't been
you
a
can't-
dickhead to this guy in 4 months, and I see him for the first time, and I just gotta let it all out.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's been like festering.
I'll be truthfully honest. It's been so long since I've seen this dickhead in the down right corner over here. I mean, and he does look like a dickhead. Look how red and bulbous that giant head of his is.
You know,
You guys remember when this podcast was about video games?
fuck, I know.
Half the
right?
time, it's never
was
about
pretty
video
fun.
games. What are you talking about? All right, so we're going to continue the round table now after we get all the camaraderie out of the way. So,
There you go.
all right, Jan, we're going to have to cut you off now. Let's go
I
say
was
hi to
pretty much
Mark.
done anyway.
Yeah. All right, Mark. So, hi, how are you, Mark? It's good to see you again. Tell us what you've been up to.
I've been playing video games.
Why are you... Oh, yeah, never mind. That's all you're going to give us? Fucking 4
No.
months away, that's all you're going to give us? Why am I not surprised?
No, I had to fucking hit my inhaler
Ah.
because it's around that time, and I
Right.
figured I had like another minute to hold it in and whatnot. And then, because I figured you were just gonna keep fucking bloviating, and then no, you stopped talking like right at that moment. And well, fuck.
Well, I guess I'll just take this hit. Oops.
It was either that or fucking clean out my bowl, and I'm just not in the
Yeah.
mood right now. So let's see.
Got it.
What's new with me? Well, weed's legal in New Jersey, so I've been doing that now.
Hooray.
It's fun. 8 out of 10. Would recommend.
Would Doobie again?
Yeah, exactly. If you want to come up and get high at some point, Robert, well, fuck you, but you can anyway.
You're not
I
inviting
have
anybody
both-
over to your house anyway because you're still like concerned about COVID shit, aren't you? Or did
No,
you
I
get
got my shot.
vaccinated?
I got vaccinated.
Oh, okay.
I have an illness. I was allowed to get vaccinated first.
I know, right?
But yeah, so basically almost everybody that I know locally is vaccinated at this point. So we're going to be starting to do board game nights again, hopefully soon.
Oh, cool.
So that will be exciting. Don't know 100% if I'm going to like return to streaming regularly, just because I've been off for a couple of months, and normally I get the itch to start streaming again, and I just really haven't recently. But I kind of want to, like, I'm still kind of like working on scripts and restarting the podcast and stuff. So who even knows at this point?
Fair
yeah,
enough.
honestly, that's kind of how I felt like the last couple of months. It's like, you know what? It's been a while since I've done something. I want to stream. Nah, don't feel like it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I enjoy being able to interact with my friends and everything, but I don't necessarily miss the performative nature of it, if that makes sense.
No, totally.
And I haven't really had a game where I was like, I want to show this to everybody, But I've been playing, like, the 3 major games I've been playing at the moment are Resident Evil MILF, Mass Effect Legendary, and Hellpoint.
So how much do you
Ooh, how
enjoy
is that?
Resident Evil Mommy Milkers?
First time I beat it, 7 out of 10. Second through fourth times I beat it, 8 out of 10. Final score, I would say 8 out of 10. Here's the thing, and I told this to a few people. Resident Evil MILF very much feels like it wants to be a crossbreed between Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 4.
Mm-hmm.
It wants to do like the action sort of stuff of Resident Evil 4 while maintaining the perspective and quasi-horror elements of Resident Evil 7. And at its best, the game is evocative of Resident Evil 7, which is fine. That's a very good game. You know, if you're going to try to rip something off, or borrow from something that you own, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
you could certainly do worse than one of the more successful games that you have released. But the game never really feels like Resident Evil 4. It's definitely trying to feel like Resident Evil 4, but it feels a little more like Doom 3 to me.
Oh,
And
I have
here's
no
the thing.
complaints.
wow.
I like Doom 3. I like Doom 3.
Mm-hmm.
That is not necessarily a compliment.
Right. Though I will give absolute props to the dollhouse level.
Oh yes, the first two zones, the
Lady Demetresk.
the lady
Yeah.
big cans level, step on me vampire mommy level is great, is fucking wonderful. Aesthetically, I really didn't need us to do Tyrant again because I played 2 Resident Evils that had Tyrant back to back, so doing another Tyrant sequence was just like, oh, we're doing this now, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But
don't worry. When they do Code Veronica, they'll do another Tyrant most likely.
I ain't fucking playing that shit. Get
No
the
one's
fuck
gonna
outta here
play
with
that. No one's gonna
But,
play it.
But
Code Veronica. I mean, they already announced that
No.
they're going to do it in the same way they did 2 and 3 for the remakes.
Ugh.
so
And Code Veronica is my favorite of the original series. The first out of the first like 5 games.
Volumes, good sir. Volumes.
you like Code Veronica more than Resident Evil 2?
Yes,
Wow.
You have brain problems.
Wow.
I think you've got bad taste.
No, society agrees with me. Like, I would not normally appeal to popularity argument ex populum, but no,
Mhm.
like, you are the only person who thinks that. That is, I
don't
feel like
know
you've
No,
been
what
dropping
I don't
your
think
head a
I'm the
lot.
only
as a child.
person to say that. But I mean, you can go on believing what you want to believe.
But anyway, so the first 2 sections of the game are fine. As Jan mentioned, the dollhouse is great.
Mm.
So I didn't necessarily like the fact that, there's a thing trying to kill you in that too, that you can't do any damage to the first time, but subsequent times I got over it. And then it's just after everything else, it's
Mm.
kind of downhill. There's a water sequence that I didn't particularly care for that has a switch puzzle that was annoying. The last proper zone of the game is evocative of Resident Evil 5, which, again, I love Resident Evil 5, not a compliment necessarily. And the plot tries to end with dramatic stuff that it didn't earn, I don't think. But then,
all right.
yeah, so then, like, you go through, like, the second or the third playthrough, and they're giving you fucking heavy-duty machine guns and, like, even better Magnum, and it's like, you know what? No, I'm fine. I fucking beat the game on the hardest difficulty with a fucking Magnum. It was great.
Makes sense.
Thought you liked water sports. Arzog, I haven't seen you in like 3 months. Don't make me fucking ban you already. Anyway, so yeah, overall, probably my game of the year, which is kind of depressing because it's like one of 3 games that I played that came out this year so far. Haven't really played a lot that came from this year, and I would like it but it's just after last year, it just feels like kind of a letdown, I guess. And I don't really mean that to shit on the game. It's just it wasn't what I wanted necessarily, but it's fine. But otherwise, yeah, I've been playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is Mass Effect again, and it looks great and it plays fine. So, thumbs up. And Hellpoint, which is a game that I am 35 hours into and I haven't figured out if I like yet.
Yikes.
Yeah, you said something on Twitter about you're like 2 bosses away from beating the game and you're not sure how you feel about it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I've been watching your tweets about it.
Yeah, it's Dark Souls with platforming mechanics.
Nope.
The combat isn't as bad as you would think it is, and I'm presently at a point in the game where I'm so absurdly overpowered that nothing fucking poses any real challenge to me, but the platforming sucks.
That's a shame.
Yeah, there have been more than a few instances where I lost my souls falling into a hole and dying because when I was attempting to retrieve them from when I previously fell into a hole and died. And it's the same hole in a lot of cases. So
It's your favorite hole.
yeah, this hole was made for me.
But I'm shocked that you haven't picked up Biomutant yet.
I keep meaning to, but I also keep meaning to play Persona 5 Strikers, so...
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, a lot of people have basically said Biomutant is one of those rare games that doesn't work well from a numerical perspective, review-wise.
I would agree with that.
Because everybody's basically saying it's like a 6 out of 10, but they're enjoying it, except for James Stephanie Sterling, who actively did not like it. Which is fine. Like, I'm not shitting on Ms. Sterling for disliking it. I'm just saying it's most everybody else has been like, this game, low score, but I enjoy playing it. And it's just sort of like, huh.
Well, I mean, which is weird because it's like everyone was on the Outriders bandwagon and then Biomutant came out and they're like, what's Outriders?
I know 2 people who play Outriders, and they both continue to play it, and I am basically convinced that they both hate it.
I mean, it's not Anthem bad, but it's kind of not good.
Well, again, one of the people that I know who play, there he is.
Oh, hey, Zig.
Hi, Zig.
Yeah, he has been telling me stories about how he is at like tier 14 of like I guess 15, and he'll just die from like the most absurdly stupid shit possible, and it's just not enjoyable. It's not fun, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't fucking buy this because I would just fucking openly resent that decision.
By the way, speaking of PS1 games, what did you think of the Resident Evil MILF PS1 degraphic mod?
I didn't see that one actually. I saw the party one. I saw the Thomas the Tank Engine one. I saw the
giant hat.
The what?
There's a giant hat mod where every time you look away and then look back, her hat keeps
I
getting
saw
bigger.
that one. I saw that one, and then I saw the one. I saw the one where they changed out the baby's head with Chris Redfield's head, and vice versa. That is
that one.
That is my favorite mod. That is my second favorite mod anyone has ever made ever, and it is my favorite mod for this game. Just watching you lay baby Chris Redfield down, and he's just fucking smiling away as you put him to bed is just like perfect.
I'm just since we got the Thomas the Tank Engine mod, now I'm just waiting for a Macho Man mod because that seems to be the 2 things that everyone has to mod into their games.
Yep.
Yeah, the Macho Man Skyrim mod is the best mod that has ever existed, and probably the best mod that will ever exist.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100% agree.
I don't know. I find it somewhat terrifying that you see a train flying through the air and then smashing through walls. There's something.
Yeah, but I mean, like the concept of ominous train shooting is like not nearly as frightening as hearing the soft nothings of Randy Macho Man Savage in the distance.
Cream of the crop.
Yep. And then you see it drop down and go Macho, and you're just like, oh god.
I don't know.
Power too sweet to be sour.
I don't know. I think I can tolerate cream of the crop a lot more than making Thomas cross.
I mean, that's fair.
Hmm.
At least it's not as bad as the fact that they turned the knife into a fly swatter so you can swap Miss Lady Demetrius's
Yep.
ass.
Yeah.
Horny motherfuckers.
But I mean,
This
again, like
game was made for you and me.
But again, I'm sitting here playing fucking Hellpoint literally right now. So.
Oh, okay, well, that works.
So if I start swearing uncontrollably, I have fallen into a hole.
I mean, you
You know,
swear
as you
uncontrollably a lot, so.
I mean, I haven't fallen into a hole, and it's been 30 whole minutes, so it's like a new record.
Oh wow, that's a record, I guess then.
It actually isn't. I'm being facetious. I'm
I
exaggerating.
know.
but-
I'm playing into it.
No, I'm just letting like the people watching know the game isn't that bad. Is the key point there? Because like I've had a couple of people who are like, "Why do you keep playing the game then?" Because critics should experience art, motherfucker. Even if the art's not very good.
All right, let's move on to our buddy Spencer, who's been sitting here quietly this whole time, just with his thoughts, all alone, listening to us ramble on like a bunch of horny morons.
Damn.
Oh man. I don't know. I haven't really done shit.
I mean, you painted your walls.
I painted. Yeah, I redid this whole room. I painted the walls. I got a new desk.
Here, give us a tour. Pick up your webcam.
Oh god, I'm scared it won't go back to the place
Yeah,
that it is.
That's why I'm saying don't do that. Don't do
Oh,
it.
fine.
No, don't do it.
Oh,
The last time
it's
you
not.
tried
Is
to
it
think
on
that
a? Is it like on a? Is it like a expensive webcam on a mount, or is it like my Logitech?
Oh no, it's just a 920.
Oh,
But
okay, that's what I got. Yeah.
the cable, it's connected to my PC through a USB extension, and it doesn't really like to stay connected in that extender
no.
very well. Like the USB extension port is kind of loose. So sometimes if I look at it wrong, it's kind of like I'm just gonna disconnect and then everything freezes and it doesn't go super well. But yeah, so painted the room, got a new desk, did all that. That's been fun. Mostly just been working. I started doing some more editing for a nonprofit, and that's been
nice.
my main work has been that. I got both my shots, so I'm vaccinated, good to go. Been finally like seeing friends and family again for the first time in over a year, so that's been great. But that's kind of been most of what I've done.
Helping them move, you know.
Yeah, helping them move. God, poor Rab. All of the ridiculousness that he's gone through with that move. It's like everything that could go wrong has gone wrong, I think.
I still don't understand what the fuck he did to both of his computers.
Yeah, I have no idea. I can see maybe his laptop just doesn't get gig speeds because it's not like a super fancy laptop, but I have no idea why his desktop doesn't. Makes no sense to me why it's not working. But yeah, I haven't really been playing too much. I played through the medium finally, which was a lot different than I expected, but it was still fun. But it was way different than what I was expecting.
Well, I think a lot of people expected it to just straight up be a Silent Hill like clone-ish, like not on the spot, but like the concept of bouncing back and forth between the realms and stuff like that. And of course, obviously, because the music was made by the guy who did the music for Silent Hill, a lot of people really thought that that's what it was gonna be.
Yeah, I kind of expected to. I guess this isn't really a spoiler. I kind of expected to go back and forth between the worlds more, but you really do a lot of stuff side by side. So like it'll split screen and you'll be in the regular world and then the medium world. And that was kind of weird at first because I was like, I don't know which character to follow because they move at the same time through the same spaces. And then sometimes you'll have to solve a puzzle in one world to open a door in the other. And it was like, it was fun and it was interesting, but it took me a little bit to get kind of like my brain wrapped around, okay, so if I follow this side's doing the same thing kind of thing, I guess. I don't know. It was a little confusing, but once I got used to it, it was fun. It's on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, play it. It's worth it. I think I beat it in like a day. It wasn't very long.
Oh.
What else did I play? Call of the Sea. That's what it was called. It was a puzzle game that was loosely Lovecraft themed. You go to an island looking for your husband, and you have a sickness that he was trying to cure. And when you get there, you kind of realize the island is related to your sickness, and you have to solve puzzles to get through the island and figure out what happened to your husband and his expedition crew, because he's an adventurer, a scientist, I guess, would be a good way to put it. Yeah, those were both fun games. They were kind of short, easy to get through games because neither one of them really involved any combat. There were like a few quick time events in the medium, I think, and that was about it.
Yeah.
But that's like all I've really played. I've got some games stacked up for whenever I start streaming again, hopefully in a week or so, that are ready to go.
Okay.
That's about it.
All right. So, well, as for me, because of the hiatus that we went on, it all started with, of course, me getting COVID. So, so just so happens I got COVID.
Have you had any like long-term negative effects on that? By the way,
no, but my wife did lose her sense of taste and smell for about 3 weeks.
God.
But
Yikes.
I actually got the worst of it, believe it or not. So, so here's the thing: is the first half of the first week I was fine. All I had was maybe a mild fever, sitting around 100 degrees or so, and then, bam! On motherfucking Friday, I peaked at 102.6 fever, which I had for 4 straight days, along with 4 straight nights of insomnia, no sleep whatsoever.
This man over here cooking himself. It's fine.
Apparently you can only go to the hospital if you have if you're close to like a 103 fever or something like that. So like I never got above a 102.6. Once I finally got over the fever, extreme exhaustion came in to the point where I couldn't get out of bed. Fuck. Since I had the fever, I couldn't get out of bed, and just walking to the goddamn bathroom was a goddamn trivial event. And guess what happened? What came out at the same time I had COVID? Fucking Monster Hunter Rise. So I couldn't play that for a couple of weeks because I had no energy for that. Whap whap. And then I tried. And then I did my 2 weeks of quarantine. And then I tried to go back to work in the middle of the 3rd week. And that was a big mistake right there because I couldn't last more than an hour, and I just drove home, and I took off another 3 days of work before, I started slowly getting my energy back and whatnot. So, and then, of course, a few weeks later, I got my first COVID shot, vaccine shot. I got Pfizer. And let me tell you something. Apparently, you're not supposed to get your vaccine shot until at least 90 days after you've had COVID. And yeah.
Ooh. I think I'd heard that. So how did that go?
Let's just say I lived through COVID again for about a day after I got my shot.
That sucks.
So I didn't really enjoy that. I had the fever, I had the exhaustion, just nasty cough. It lasted only a day though. My shoulder was sore for about 3 days after that. It got in my left shoulder, so thankfully it wasn't my main working shoulder, which is what I use to cut my meat with all the time at work. And then
I didn't know you got COVID, Aaron. Holy shit!
Oh wow! I'm sorry to hear that, Paul. But yeah, and then I got my second shot 2 weeks ago, so today was the first day I went to work without having to wear a mask, which was very nice. But at the same time, every time I walk out where there's a lot of people, I keep trying to grab this mask that's not on my face anymore to cover up.
That's fair.
But yeah, when I got the second shot, my symptoms were actually pretty mild. I had a minor fever, I had minor chills. The new thing I had was some vomiting, but that was about it. So, I made out good in the end, I guess. So, but
mine was kind of mine was the opposite. When I got my 2 shots, my first one was my arm was just sore and I couldn't really move it or anything. And then the second one was the one that kicked my ass. And like 10 hours after I got it, I started getting the fever, the aches, the chills.
Oh,
Couldn't
Yeah.
sleep that night. Then I
Yeah.
just like the next day laid on my couch and slept on and off all day. And then finally got some sleep that night. But it was like that second one just knocked me out, man. It sucked.
Yeah, so
Damn, I guess I
the
got
main
really
reason
fortunate
why
then.
they say you have to wait 90 days is apparently within those 90 days you're going to have a very strong immunity memorization going on. So, like, you just got over COVID, so your antibodies are already acting up, and then you get a dead strain put into your body about less than 4 weeks later, and your body starts acting out like, ah, shit, we're going through this again. I forget what my friend.
I don't think they actually use a dead strain. I don't remember because I was reading some stuff about it. I don't think they use a dead strain for it.
I thought I read. No, one of the three. It's either Pfizer or the Johnson & Johnson is the one that uses a dead strain. I don't remember though.
Probably, I think J&J is the one that uses
It's
the dead
J&J,
strain,
yeah.
which might be the reason why they had the temporary withdrawal from the thing.
Yep.
But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fucking virusologist, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, but anyway, so I did recover, but I was just so out of it at that point. I haven't streamed outside of the Virtual Fighter biweeklies that I was doing with my friend Virtual Kazama. In terms of games that I've played, I managed to beat Atelier Ryza 2 just before I started playing Yeast 9. I didn't realize how much time I actually lost in Atelier Ryza 2. I spent almost 90 hours playing that game. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's one of my favorite crafting systems in a game based around alchemy. Like, holy crap, I spent literally twice as much time playing that game than I did the first. As for Yeast 9, I don't like it as much as 8. I feel like it took a lot of steps back in terms of just the storytelling and the characters and whatnot, and I'm just not engrossed in the story. I don't really care for the characters at all. The plot, I mean, I'm about 2/3 of the way through the game, and the plot just still doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I have ideas of what's going on, but the plot just really is just like WTF. And the core gameplay is the same as the previous game, only they make some minor changes here with the enemy encounters. But overall, I just really just hate the pacing of the game. There's way more like character interactions than there was in prior Yeast games. It seems like I go from one location to the next for like quest markers, and it's like, oh, cutscene, interaction, 10 minutes of talking, and it just is such a drag on the game that I've really lost interest to the point where like I actually started skipping certain segments, like side quests, like interactions, because I don't give a shit. Just so I can hurry up and beat the game before Monster Hunter Rise happened. But, COVID happened. In which case, once I recovered, it's been all about Monster Hunter Rise. And despite the fact that there wasn't a whole lot of content for that game, in fact, it even had a quarter. It has, like, literally half the content that you got in base world. I still enjoy the game immensely. And I like the little rollouts of updates they're giving us. And that they're going to start giving us, like, almost monthly or bi-monthly updates for the next, like, what is it, 5 months, Jan?
5 to 6, yeah.
Yeah, 5 to 6 months. So, I mean, they're probably not going to be all monsters. It's mostly going to be, like, cosmetics or quests, event quests and stuff like that. Up until
Well,
they
we're
finally...
also doing like Cloudcom collabs as well, so
What's
there's
that?
other big
Oh, yeah, the
there's big
collaborations.
collab events too. There's at least 3 collab events across the next 3 months.
Yeah, one of them is a Resident Evil collab, isn't it?
We don't know what the other 2 are. The only one that we know for sure is the one that's going to be the one that's coming up, which is the crossover with Monster Hunter Stories too.
I thought they mentioned that one of the
They did not
collabs was going to be
announce.
Monster Hunter, but okay.
They
I'll have to
did not
double check.
announce any. Yeah, they did not announce any additional collabs. Just that there is a collab coming. We just assume that because they've had other collabs, they've had Devil May Cry, they've had Resident Evil, they've had Mega Man. You know, they've had a lot of other Capcom franchises that have crossed over before. So a lot of people are just speculating that it'll be Resident Evil to sort of commemorate Resident Evil 8, but we have 0 confirmation after just the one for Monster Hunter Stories right now.
Okay. Alright, and as for other games, yep, Virtua Fighter, new Virtua Fighter came out. Update, 10 years in the waiting. Me and Jan here have been playing it nonstop. I'm sure there's some of my fans sitting there lurking in the chat room that play it right now. And yeah, I mean, in case you haven't been paying attention to my Twitter, I am putting up $500 for a tournament that I'm going to be running on the 27th of this month. So I will post the link in the chat in a few minutes. If you're interested in signing up, it's going to be a 64-man bracket with a waiting list. So I'm actually hyped for this. I'm helping run another tournament this Sunday, which is already capped at 32, and it's already been filled up. So Virtua Fighter, like it seems like when you look at Twitter, you look at Facebook and other social media outlets, it's like people are really pushing to try and give Virtua Fighter like a second lease on life, because they feel like, I guess with Final Showdown, it didn't get as much what is the word I'm looking for? It didn't get as much attention, I guess, as it should have gotten, because there was a lot of like other stuff coming out at the time. I mean, you had Soul Calibur, a new DOA, you had Tekken Tag Tournament 2, I believe, at the same time. You just had a whole bunch of stuff coming out. It was like late 90s fighting game like madness, with like almost 20 games coming out in like a 2-year span or something like that, like high profile and even some dud fighting games. So now it's nice to see that Virtua Fighter 5 is getting, a second chance, which most fighting game franchises don't. Like Right Eternal Champions.
I mean, to be fair, Virtual Fighter is actually good.
Well, so is Eternal Champions, so...
It's
just that Sega
playing it against other people, it's fine. Playing it
Yeah.
against the AI is the fucking dirt worst, and I will go to my fucking grave
I mean,
hating the goddamn Dark
most solo
Champion.
AI fighting games is the dirt worst. I mean, have you encountered any KOF bosses lately?
Oddly enough, I was actually pretty good again in KOF against the bosses. Couldn't do shit in like Sam Show or the solo games, but in KOF, I fucking racked a lot of the bosses, even on like higher difficulties. I don't know why. Just one of them things.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it from there. So let's actually start the show now. That was a nice long segment of reacclimating ourselves with the audience, and let's start off with something light. I know not a whole lot of people out here probably are familiar with the Williams. In case you aren't familiar, there is a company called Sierra that sort of exists now, but only as a publishing company under Activision's wing. They were shut down about several years ago after being bought by Vivendi and whatnot, and they just became a joke of, or a shell of their former selves. And some of the founders of Sierra was the Williams, Roberta Williams being one of the lead game designers from there, created the King's Quest series. And, well, she decided after 20 years she wants to make a new game. And her husband has been playing around with the Unity engine, so they're going to make a brand new game, and they're going to have this other guy, Maximus, help them out with it as well. And it's going to be a 3D adventure game that I am looking forward to. And it makes me wonder if whether this is a success or not. Do you think there is a shot that we might have a new rebirth or some kind of... a rebirth of the adventure genre? I mean, we've had the Telltale games trying their best to, reignite the adventure genre in a way that, seems more accessible to the modern gamer. But when you got someone, as prominent as Roberta Williams, do you think we can actually, make some progress, or do you think this is going to be like old school and it might not connect with the newer audiences of today? What do you think, Mark, since you're a fan of her?
Oh no.
No?
No. I want to be extremely fucking clear about this right now, all right?
Oh boy, here we go.
Ken and Roberta Williams are responsible for basically adventure games existing in the form that they do and did for a number of years. From a historical perspective, I cannot say enough positive about their contributions to the gaming landscape, to the history of gaming. They are pioneers in the genre and deserve to be celebrated in every way possible. Sierra as a company pioneered adventure gaming at a time when we absolutely were starving for story-based gaming. And I legitimately think that if Sierra hadn't existed, it would have taken us much longer to get to a point where we had story-based gaming the way that we have it nowadays. And they should be forever celebrated for that. But fuck every game Roberta Williams made in the asshole with a rusty fork.
Ah, there it is.
There it is. That's what I was waiting for.
The King's Quest series, as a collective whole, can get picked up hitchhiking by Ted Bundy, okay?
Wow.
It's not that it's not a fucking important franchise, but Roberta Williams is she's just an asshole as a developer. She's a great person by all indications, and I'm sure she's a wonderful human being in general. As a game developer, she's a fucking asshole.
The sad whiskey sour face that MPI got when you started railing on that was just like, oh no. It's like someone just farted in your room, closed the door, and walked away and kept it locked, and you have no way of reducing the actual stench of just how gross those words were.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I feel like every other time I talk to Mark. Let's be real.
I mean,
It happens
it
at least
is
once,
Mark.
right?
He has
But,
something
you
to
know.
say, and there has to be ways to goad him into saying it. So I had to. So
Fair, but still.
Yeah, and it's ultimately at the end of the day, like I don't fuck you, Nate. I'm not even gonna fucking warn you. I'm just gonna fucking ban your ass. Ultimately at the end of the day, like again, the games that they made are historically significant, but like I don't think we need another game from Roberta Williams because I remember the last game Roberta Williams made, Phantasmagoria, and I didn't like that either.
Oh god.
Like, maybe she's learned something. You know, it's been fucking 20 goddamn years, 25 years, somewhere in that range, since she made a game. Maybe she has realized we shouldn't make it possible for somebody to miss an item in hour 2 and then fail the game in hour 10 with no possible way of recovering from it. You know, I want to be hopeful that she has decided maybe there are things that I can do that don't make the player want to fucking throw themselves in front of a bus. But I'm not confident in that particular assertion is all I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
Roberta Williams, if by some act of God you fucking hear this, I'm sure you're a wonderful person. You're historically significant, but
Don't be dumb.
fuck your goddamn games. Please don't fucking do what you did in like all of the King's Quest games. You fucking monster.
Hey Spencer, have you ever played a King's Quest game?
I have not.
I'm pretty sure if
think
he had
they
played
were,
a King's Quest game ever, he would not be a gamer anymore. He would have just been like, fuck it!
I think we should
Yeah.
make
So
an
the way
incentive.
that the way that Mark just described that of you missed this thing in hour 2 and you fail the whole game in hour 10 would probably make me throw my PC in the bathtub.
Yeah.
I think we should do an incentive, like charity drive, and get Spencer to play at least one of the King's Quest games on his stream.
$10,000 and we'll talk.
Okay.
All right.
Who are we
Is
donating?
that high enough, Mark? Is that high enough?
$10,000?
That's a good number.
That doesn't have to be one donation, obviously. That can
ultimately,
be a total milestone goal for charity.
I would say we have to have Kate watch you while you play to ensure that you don't use the strategy guide.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I want to watch you fucking rage quit in hour 10 when you missed something.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what would happen. Like that would be, it would probably be a great clip on Twitter because
What,
I would
10K
lose
dono?
my fucking mind when that happens.
And of course, Stairbender's just like one 10K dono. Lil.
I mean, it can be one 10K donation. I don't give a shit how you get there. That's the goal.
All right, you go ahead and set it up, and we'll see if we can make it happen by the end of the year.
Oh, by the end of the year, I thought we were putting this in like a one go thing, like a weekend or something.
Come on, we're lazy gamers right now. We're not going to be able to down.
That's less than one kidney. Oh my god.
I think I have an extra kidney to spare.
No. You can get at least $50,000 for that. Come on, stop.
With as many energy drinks as you do, don't spare one.
No.
What
Hold
do
on
you mean
to
as
that
much
for-
energy drinks as I did? This is my first
Hold
one.
on to that as a safety sake.
Yeah.
I just told you this is my first one in like literally 2.5 months. You're telling me you're still accusing me of drinking a shitload?
He's about to fucking go into a downward spiral. We're gonna find him fucking snorting crack cocaine and fucking powdered caffeine out of a fucking prostitute's asshole in fucking
He's just gonna be
fucking
snorting
South
G
Street.
Fuel. It's fine. He'll just be snorting G Fuel off of some like.
Snorting G Fuel, Jesus.
Oh, it's lemony! Ooh!
He's gonna be fucking like pouring into every orifice. He's just gonna have like this fucking tube in his fucking piss hole that he's pouring fucking amp into.
Oh,
That's
God.
basically chalk. Ah!
Yep. I'll just sit here. I'll just pour an energy drink all over the table, and I'll just go down. Woo! What a fucking rush! Okay.
I can feel.
What
the
were we
kidneys
talking about?
forming.
I can feel the kidney cells forming from
We were
here.
talking about
Oh my
Roberta
God.
Williams and why she is the fucking John Wayne Gacy of video game development.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay.
All right, I think that's the most we're going to get out of this topic, unless Jen has something to say. I don't know if you play adventure games.
I mean, she has done the metaphorical equivalent of burying a bunch of young children in the basement. Is all I'm saying here.
I mean, I played Blackthorn and Grim Fandango, and those weren't terrible, but not
They
the same
weren't-
company, so.
No, that's well, Blackthorn is Blizzard, and
Grim
that's like
Fandango
Prince of
was
Persia type
Lucas.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you have not truly suffered in the world of adventure game development.
Make her play some Gabriel
King's Quest
Knight
1 through
games.
4,
Maybe
so
she'll
I get it.
suffer then.
No. I've played King's Quest 1 through 4. I know what's up. That's fine.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah. So
Yeah,
then
I know.
you know.
Trust me, I know. Oh, I know. Trust me, I know.
Hey, Mark, speaking
Like,
of
not
missing
an
an item in hour 2 and losing the game in hour 10, the third Leisure Shoot Larry game is infamous for that shit.
Yeah, but Outlaw got better about that.
That's true.
That is true. Okay, let's move on to another topic of discussion. What else did we have up on the agenda, Mark? You had something posted? I mean, we're saving the E3 talk for the... Oh, yeah, you want to talk... Which one do we want as the main event? The E3, or do we want to talk about remasters and remakes?
Probably remasters and remakes, but...
Okay. So, I mean, this is your idea for this topic of discussion. So why don't you go ahead and start us off and give us your frame of thought for why you decided to have this topic.
Oh, for the remakes and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like, what inspired you?
Well, it's a big thing right now, right?
Yes, it is.
Mass Effect Legendary just came out a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil has very specifically had one very successful remake and one less successful remake. Mega 10 just had a big remake release with Nocturne. Alex Kidd.
Right.
Yeah, Alex Kidd is getting a remake in like a month, I think. A couple of weeks, something like that.
Two Monster World games. One coming out soon, the other one a couple years ago.
Right. And then there's been discussions about Capcom remaking some Resident Evil game, with some people saying it was going to be Resident Evil 4, and then, oh no, it's going to be Code Veronica, and then this, that, and the other thing, and then Naughty Dog was fucking talking about doing a remake of The Last of Us, and it's just, it's a conversation that now more than ever is just incredibly relevant to what is going on in gaming.
Yeah. We had this discussion a couple of years ago, back when Resident Evil 2 came out, and since then, I mean, there was maybe remakes or reimaginings of like old games. like just coming out sparsely throughout the years, but now they're just like everywhere. And you got companies like Square Enix who are releasing a shitload of remakes. I mean, Final Fantasy R, Second Densetsu 3, so their Saga games and their what were the Game Boy Final Fantasy Legend games called again? The original names. The Saga games.
Yeah, Adventure.
The Saga.
Oh yeah,
Saga
they were.
Frontier, yeah,
They were. They were. Fuck. Weren't those in the same franchise as the 3-player game, the 3-character games in the fucking SNES, whose name I can't think of.
No, the Saga games were
Mana.
actually the Final Fantasy Legend games were actually the Saga games that they renamed when they brought them over to the Game Boy.
Okay.
And they had Second Densetsu 1 for the Game Boy that they renamed Final Fantasy Adventure.
Yeah, that was what I was wondering.
And Final Fantasy Adventure, is the first game in the Second Densetsu series, which was then later renamed Sword of Mana in the remake for the Game Boy Advance.
Which is more accurate.
Yeah. So anyway, remakes and reimaginings everywhere, all of varying quality, and I mean, you're currently playing through one right now, a 10-year-old franchise with a hit or miss ending for those who enjoyed it. Mass Effect 3 or Mass Effect Legendary Collections, and let's get everybody's thoughts on how they feel about the giant rush of remakes and whatnot that's been coming out. We'll start with you, Spencer. How do you feel about all this stuff?
I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I see the argument people make all the time of just like, well, it's just lazy, make a new game. But most of the time it's the same story, sure, but it's not like they just went press a button and go, okay, it's prettier. Like, it still took time to make and develop. And I think depending on the franchises and the games too, there's a chance that this could be the first time that someone experiences your favorite video game. Just because it happened to come out as a newer version or as a bundle. Like the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is all 3 games for $60, where you would have had to buy the other ones for $60 a piece. So, I mean, I dig it. I think it's cool. And it lets people also sometimes kind of, relive some of their childhood. And it's prettier now. Like, I got to play through Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 again. And it wasn't 4 frames per second. And I wasn't doing a kickflip with a square, it was a modern game. It ran smooth. And it was just as fun, if not more fun, than when I was a kid. And it had some new stuff in it that was just enough to make it feel interesting, and then without taking away all of the original games.
Do you feel like when some of the remakes that you have played, do you feel outside of gameplay tweaks and whatnot? I mean, obviously Resident Evil 2 and 3, added a whole new perspective, going from tank controls to third-person controls. Do you feel like most remakes, add enough to justify their being in existence?
I mean, I guess I'll put it this way. I never played the original Resident Evil 2 and 3 because I was probably too young when they came out, and by the time I was
I'm sure
old enough
GameStop
to
would have let you buy it anyway.
Oh, they wouldn't have given a shit. They might have. Our GameStop was always a stickler for it, but Game Crazy wasn't. That's why I liked Game Crazy. They let me buy whatever I wanted.
Game Crazy.
Yeah, dude, that place was my jam.
Remember when Hollywood Video was a thing? Remember when we
Oh my god, right?
My mom used to be a store manager for Hollywood Video.
Did you
I
get
just
me
want
like
everybody to
cool
know.
stuff?
Yeah, I did. I got a bunch of
Sweet.
free magazines and strategy guides, and when they were getting rid of their games because they were closing up, I got a few of those.
I just want everybody to know I just took a hit, so this may either be better or worse, and I'm not 100% certain how that's going to iron out in the next,
Don't worry, if you space out, I'll mute your ass.
That's fine.
No, I just forget what I'm talking about. Which both Kane and Nate can definitely attest to that. That's what I have become in my old age. When I was 20 and I would partake, I would just repeat myself over and over etc. Again, to a point where the only people who could tolerate me were also people who had partaken, whatever. Now I just fucking go off on a fucking 20-minute long tirade and then forget what I was talking about until like half an hour later.
Honestly,
I thought
that's
you
what you
just
do
did that
regardless.
anyway. Yeah. Somehow it just gets worse. But yeah, so like I mean, I never played Resident Evil 2 or 3, but looking back on like the tank controls and stuff, I don't think I would have liked those games as much as I did with the remakes. It made it more accessible, I think, to a lot of people. I know Mark, you can probably correct me more on this than anything, but like Resident Evil 2 didn't lose out on a lot, but Resident Evil 3 lost out on a lot of content, though, didn't it?
I don't.
You mean the
think it
remake,
did.
right?
Yeah, yeah, remake.
Kind
Because
of.
I remember you telling me about like how much shorter it was, and that there's like missing branching paths and things.
Yes, there are
It is a
missing
shorter
endings.
game. It is about
It
a
is a
6-hour
shorter game than it would be. There are missing. There was multiple endings in the original game, so that's not included, which is really frustrating. There are some changes that they make that I don't hate, but there are other changes that they make narratively that make no goddamn sense, and I don't understand why they fucking did it. So, that's a conversation for a different day. But yeah, I don't think that remake is particularly good.
Yeah, and
3.
remake 3.
It's not bad. I don't think it's particularly good.
Yeah,
I got things to say about it, which is fine.
Did you enjoy it?
We're not done yet. We actually haven't finished. So here's the thing. When 3 first came out, I did a total whopping amount of 4 missions, and I was done with the game. I didn't have any DLC. I didn't have any side quests done. I had the bare minimum necessary to actually defeat the Reapers, and then I beat the game.
I think she
And I
just
was
went
left
from
with
Resident
the-
Evil to Mass Effect.
Yep, yeah. Whenever she said Reapers, I was like, okay, we jumped.
Yeah, okay, no.
I know where we're at though.
Anyway,
I was wondering, like, am I that high already?
yeah, we're gonna go with that. Anyway,
Oh,
as far
I'm
as
so
our-
high, I'm negatively impacting hubs and MPI.
Wow,
Yeah.
great. Shit. No, we beat 2, we beat 3. 2 was great. 3 was definitely missing a lot of content. It probably could have had a lot more than they did because they wanted to make.
They
Whatever
wanted
it
to
was,
just
the
make
thing, and
a.
it was
They
not
just wanted to
good.
make an HD sexy Jill Valentine. That's all they wanted to do.
She actually looks reasonable in this game, so
Yeah.
I don't even think it's like, you know.
I mean,
like
reasonable can still be sexy. So
yeah, but it's not like she's wearing pants instead of a skirt like in the original game, which people
Or
were
tube
really
top.
mad about, and I don't fucking understand. Like, did you
You can
think?
mod it to PC for fuck's sake!
I mean, not even just that. Like,
have you seen some of the mods they did for her too? Like they've got people making her wear nothing now and accentuating body parts.
I mean,
yeah, but I
there's
mean, like,
people that
my thing that's just really fucking frustrating about it conceptually is like, okay, Nemesis can do a Superman punch now. Do you think she's gonna fight that thing in a mini skirt? No.
No,
Fuck you.
no.
Continuing on with the discussion, though, and ask you the same question, Jan. So, like, how do you feel about how the way some remakes turn out? Like, obviously, you liked the Final Fantasy VII remake. I wasn't too much of a big fan of it. How do you feel about in regards to the liberty of, let's say, changing the game around? Or doing a complete 180 and branching off and going in a completely different direction with some stuff. Like again, like we said, they did some things a lot differently in Resident Evil 3 that was not available in the original game. Or what was that? Did you just rib it? Did you just rib it?
No, I was laughing at Pojak's comment.
Oh.
Pants are the toll of the liberal devil.
Oh, okay.
I've defeated the patriarchy. That's why I stay home.
But,
Yeah,
But it's just,
there you go.
I know that Hubs has been waiting to have this conversation with you for like
Oh yeah,
9 or 10 months.
at least.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have the discussion another time, but it's in the matter of the discussion. Like, how do you feel about remakes that deviate from the original, and do you feel good about that? Is it a hit and miss thing? How do you feel?
Okay, so here's my TLDR on Final Fantasy VII Remake. Intergrade comes out tomorrow. Episode Yuffie. If you have a PS5, I'm fucking jealous. Not that they really exist, because no one actually has a PS5 console.
Friend Joel has the PS5 console. I've seen it. I helped him hook it up.
And then Mark beat him to death and took it for himself.
No, if I wanted him to die, I would have let the cancer do that.
Oh
anyway,
my god, I'm done.
Good shit. Good shit. That's the thing that makes him walk away. The cancer joke. Cancer joke. That's
what it took.
It was the cancer joke. Are you fucking serious? Wow.
Of all the things.
Oh.
Everything else that Mark has ever said to you, and it was the cancer joke that made you walk away.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Wow. All right, Mark, you're going to timeout. You're going to timeout for that comment. I'm sorry.
Fucking clip that shit.
I know he's your friend, but goddamn, Mark.
That's funny.
I'm just saying, I contributed a lot of money to his long-term well-being. If I had wanted him to die, I would have let nature take its course.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. But anyway,
I'm just trying to sit here and make an excuse for you saying it's just the weed talking.
Listen,
I'm pretty sure that wasn't the weed talking. No,
he made me play Fallout 76. I am owed this.
The truth comes out.
I mean, he did apologize for making me play that. Actually,
fair. It was that's a well-earned apology. So here's my TLDR about Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII Remake is the story that they didn't get a chance to tell in the original Final Fantasy VII because they didn't have the fucking disk space for it. Now that they actually have the ability to deviate the way they wanted to, the story itself is actually able to unfold the way that they intended it to, so that stories that happen after, like Advent Children, fucking actually makes sense now. The fact that Cloud is actually having the issue is great.
Stop you right there. Advent Children does not make fucking sense. Fuck you.
I think it does. If you can't understand it, then I can't help you, Mark.
I mean, fair.
You can understand it. It doesn't mean it makes sense.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. The baseline though is that when a remake is made, the concept is these games get remade eras after they originally came out. Most of these games are generationally stronger now because of better understanding of storytelling, hardware, software updates, the ability to have the graphics that you never had the chance to have previously that were still okay-ish for the time. I mean, the summons in Original 7 were still breathtaking. They still had a lot of impact. They still looked really decent for the fact that they were still triangles on a screen that most people didn't actually think could be a thing. And the storytelling itself as a baseline is really strong, but has moments where you're kind of like, I mean, I probably could have done without a little bit of the extra in, Wall Market, but overall, I figure...
Honestly, I thought the wall market was the best part of the entire game, but that's a discussion.
No, I agree. I completely agree. I think Walmart's probably the best part, but again, there's some side stuff that I was just kind of like a little...
I do want to say the Hell House fight can go to hell, though.
I mean, when it's the hardest boss fight in the entire game, yeah, I get it.
Wait, that kind of novelty battle from the original one is one of the hardest fights in the game. Okay,
it's an actual regular monster. It's an actual regular boss or fight encounter that you have in the game of the original Final Fantasy VII, and they make it a boss encounter in an arena in Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it is a pain in the ass, and it took me a half an hour to fight. That is double the length it took me to fight the final boss, and all three stages of the final boss.
They just put the original up on fucking PS4 under the PSN monthly stuff, I think. It's available somewhere from... Oh, it's also available on Windows, I want to say, as part of the Game Pass. So I was actually thinking about playing it, and then I'm just hearing Robert talk about the fucking Hell House fight, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm good.
But the idea of where they're coming from now is kind of a double-edged sword. It's good to see franchises that a lot of people grew up with get remakes in modern, contextualizations. You've got updated graphics, better sound, better storytelling, the ability to do more storytelling or less storytelling, depending on what you actually want to do. I firmly believe that the big issue with Resident Evil 3 Remake was the fact that they were trying to push Resistance as a reason to get Resident Evil 3, when in reality it should have absolutely been a standalone game. It would have done a lot better if it was standalone.
I mean, these are also the people that are pushing Reverse as a thing that's part of Resident Evil 8, and I'm just like, I am never gonna fucking play that.
Yeah, but they actually separated it, so they had to. There was a big issue with how the game itself was actually programmed with 8, and something caused a pretty major progression glitch where you just couldn't play matches anymore. So they actually stalled Reverse and separated it from the purchase. You can still get it if you purchase 8, but it is also a standalone game. You don't have to get 8 to actually get Reverse now, which is a smart decision.
Because nobody's gonna want to fucking play that anyway.
Now, and like Foosh says, they better pay me to play Reverse because it's such a mess. Other than that, like I like the idea of remakes. It's the same thing as just, like, if I'm gonna do a remaster, it needs to be faithful, but it also needs to look pretty. The same thing can also kind of be said with remakes in that it doesn't always have to be faithful, but as long as it keeps the faithfulness of the original source material and also looks pretty, then yeah, I can see it being a worthwhile endeavor for people to actually want to go out and get it.
How do we feel about games like the Mass Effect Legendary series, or the Crash Bandicoot remakes, the Spyro remakes, stuff like that, which
Spyro
are just pretty
was
much the
well
same
done.
game with graphical upgrades.
Right, so that's sort of the difference, though, is that there's a difference between a remaster and a remake. The Legendary Edition is not a remake.
No, it's a remaster.
It's a remaster.
Yeah.
It's functionally the same game. They just ported them all to the Unreal 3 engine and made very minor corrections.
Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, there are still a lot of graphical bugs. There's still a lot of issues. There's still a lot of problems that were from the original game that are still in Legendary Edition. Trust me, we've run into a few of them. Like the Spectre weapons bug in 1, that was super fucking obnoxious.
They patched that, actually. They just patched that in the most recent thing.
Yep, they did finally.
Which is weird because I didn't even get it at all. So I literally had a bug-free experience in 1, and I was just like, oh,
nice,
they fixed all of this stuff, and
they did
now
finally.
I'm just a lucky one this time.
There you go. So I have played through all of Mass Effect 1. I have played through some of Mass Effect 2 and barely any of Mass Effect 3. Like I said, when I first started playing Mass Effect 3, I played 4 main story missions, and then I beat the Reapers, and that was it. I had barely just enough resources to actually win the fight, and then I got my 3 shitty endings. And that was it, and that was the game that I played. I didn't have any of the DLC. I didn't get Javik. I didn't do the Leviathan. I didn't go save the Quarians at all. I didn't have to worry about the Genophage fight because I had already gotten Saren's fucking Genophage cure from fucking 1. So a lot of the shit that happens in 3 that actually make 3 a cohesive fucking story, I never got to see. At all. Like, at all. So, Fush and I have been going through and playing 3 again, so I finally got to see all of the Omega DLC. Didn't realize there was a female Turian. That's nice. Finally got to see the Leviathan DLC. That was a huge fucking bit of lore dump there. And then, oh, right, the Prothean that was supposed to be in the game that you had to pay $10 for DLC to get at the beginning of the game. I never got him because I didn't know he existed because I never got any of the DLC for that game. So this is basically like I am actually playing Mass Effect 3 for the first time because I never got any of that shit because, fuck yay. So a lot of what I'm going through now is I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow, I really actually like Mass Effect 3 a whole hell of a lot more than I did when I got it the first time. Because let me tell you, the original playthrough of Mass Effect 3 that I had was fucking shit. I was not a fan of 3 at all. I played through it, I beat it, I never touched it again.
I guess
To
I'm the
this
only one
day.
here of the group that actually enjoyed Mass Effect 3, and I was never bothered by the ending. But, yeah.
I feel like
Well-
there's. I don't think MPI has played through it. Have you played through Mass Effect?
I played through 3 and most of 2. Did I finish 2? I don't think I ever finished 2 because I think I borrowed it from someone and they were like, "Hey, can I have my game back?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Okay.
Yeah, you can
like-
have the thing that you bought back, I guess. How dare you? First of all,
All right, but spinning back to the topics of remakes, reimaginings, and whatever.
I'm just saying. I feel like we need to have that conversation at some point if everybody here has experienced it enough.
Mm-hmm.
But like my whole thing is that like the idea of being able to see these games come back now instead of having to go back to do older graphical engines, older issues, older problems, system compatibility things, it's nice. It's good. I'm glad they exist. As long as the games themselves were good the first time through. Because you don't get a chance to really see games that aren't as good but are supposed to be like critically acclaimed get remakes, and then you're just like, but I didn't like it the first time. Why would I spend money on it a second time?
Yep.
I'm looking at you, Last of Us.
yeah, and like that game's not even 10 years old. Do we really need another?
I mean,
remake
the
of
thing
it?
is, this going to be what is it going to be a second remake of it? I mean, why? I mean,
Yeah,
they did an
they
HD
redid it
port
for
of
the
it for the
PS4,
PS4.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't need another
no,
one
No
yet.
reason. No,
Like,
down.
look, the game was good. I enjoyed it. I don't need to play it again. I don't need to play it a second time or third time.
You also just put out the sequel for it last fucking year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bought the sequel, and I haven't even opened it out of its shrink wrap yet
you're
I
not
think
missing
we're-
much.
because I'm
I
afraid to
don't
be
think we're
vastly
quite ready
disappointed
for
because
it.
nobody seems to like it. Yet it gets Game of the Year.
A lot of people do like it. We're just never going to be one of those people.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. I like. Okay, so for what it's worth, I did like the narrative of one. The combat was.
Dog shit.
Oh yeah. But then again, that sort of ends up leading me down the Controls and Soulsborne games make me very upset. Like rants, and I know that me and Mark have had that conversation before.
Yeah, you don't want to have that conversation with me when I'm high. Nothing
No.
good is going to come of any of that.
No, which is again why I'm not really going to go there. But yeah, no, and then like Last of Us 2 was just not something I have any interest in at all
right.
whatsoever.
So I guess to end this conversation, let's go around and ask everybody what is their favorite remake or remaster that has come out in the last few years, and let's keep it to like the last 3 years because this is pretty much when the giant influx of these started coming. So we'll start with you, Spencer. What would you say what's one favorite remake, one favorite remaster?
Probably the Spyro Trilogy. When I was a kid, I was a Crash Bandicoot kid, so it was kind of like one or the other because I'm a kid. I can't just buy every game I want. So that was the first time that I got to play through the Spyro games, and like, other than parts that were difficult and frustrating, I had a great time with it the whole time. Other than those like few things that were frustrating, and those things were frustrating because I made the stupid decision that I had to 100 and 117 or whatever percents all of the games and get all the achievements for it. That was the only reason that they were frustrating, because other than that, I could beat the game without it, but I had to do it for some stupid ass reason. But yeah, I think that would be my favorite one. That was great.
Yeah.
It was really good.
How about you, Celadon?
That's rough because I'll be like 100% honest. Like the only remakes that I've really touched in the last couple of years is 7 Remake and Legendary, and it's not even really a remake. It's just sort of just a remaster and update. So like, I was never really a big fan of Spyro because I never really liked the aesthetic. Crash Bandicoot was Crash Bandicoot, but I'm much more of a Ratchet and Clank kind of girl. So like, that was my go-to.
Those are good too.
I'm over the fucking moon about the new one. Like, it's definitely a prime reason why I'd like to get a PS5, because I really want to play the new Ratchet and Clank, because it looks fucking amazing. And apparently everyone is, like, changing their fucking pants because of how good it is, so, okay. But at the same time, it's like, there's really not a lot for me when it comes to nostalgia. It's like, I guess if I'm really gonna go down that route, like, RE2 Remake is probably my number one. I was a really big fan of what they did with RE2 Remake. I think it was very well done. I think they approached it the way they needed to. The updates and some of the things that they did with it were exactly what the franchise needed. And I'll be 100% honest, I think that had it not been for RE2 being as good as it was and having the popularity of it basically putting Capcom back into the limelight and really getting shit, fixed for when it comes to just, like, the company as a whole, I don't think we would have had Devil May Cry 5, which really was an amazing game overall.
Before, I guess we'll end it with Mark, but I want to get mine out of the way. So, I mean, I've played a lot of, like, remakes and remasters. I mean, there's the Crash Bandicoot trilogy, the Spyro trilogy, the Monster Boy games, Wonder Boy in Adventureland, the Final Fantasy VII remake. Although I'm definitely not keeping that on my list. Second Densetsu 3. If I really had to choose, I mean, the fact that I never finished Second Densetsu 3 back on the Super Nintendo, I would have to, and I did beat it on the PS4. I'm gonna have to go with that because, I mean, I just liked how it was. The flow of the game felt like it was improved, and I just really liked the aesthetics. The only minor complaint I could have of that is to please, for the love of God, play it with Japanese voice acting, because the English voice acting is absolutely atrocious, especially for the little girl who talks who talks like this all the time with a fucking W in every word.
The uwu voice, yeah.
Fuck that bitch. Sorry, that was very mean of me. That was very mean of me. But I mean it. So we'll end it with you, Mark. So go ahead, tell us what's your favorite remake or remaster.
Resident Evil 2, without a doubt at this point. I can't think of any other remake that hits the exact notes that it does, with the possible exception of Wonder Boy, and I haven't played enough of that to make an informed decision on it. So for me, it's gonna be RE2 make. For remaster, kind of a tough call at the moment. I'm leaning towards Mass Effect Legendary, but that might also be like confirmation bias of it being one of the most recent things I played that is a remaster.
Mm-hmm.
For the moment, I will probably stick with that. I wish that I could say the Nocturne remake but that didn't work out as well as anybody wanted it to, unfortunately.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's
Is it just that the original Nocturne, like the Shin Megami Tensei games, just don't hold up as good as the Persona games do?
No, not at all. The actual transfer is fucked in the remake.
Oh, gotcha.
Some of the cutscenes are messed up. Like they're at a lower resolution because this was basically put together in like the smallest possible sizing that it could be. So the video compression is ass and the audio compression is ass. You can patch both of those on the PC. Actually, somehow they have high resolution versions of the cutscenes available somewhere or another, and like people have a patch up for that, and it can patch the songs, but like just the quality on it, because they don't have the actual masters anymore. Because who fucking keeps masters for this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the masters.
Final Fantasy Gate.
Yeah. So they didn't keep masters for any of this shit. So now fucking the graphics look great. They added in voice acting, which chef's fucking kiss. But like the cutscenes and the audio compression just aren't great, and it sucks and it's unfortunate, but maybe this will teach people to actually hold on to their masters. But also, it's just really sad that I can't be like, you should go play this game to people, because they even put it in easier difficulty mode too, thank God. So like it's kind of playable at this point. If they had just had the default difficulty, fuck you. You would have been beat. But it sucks that you can't recommend the game to people, because ultimately, like, the transfer is bad. I don't want to have somebody look at it and be like, this is the game that you liked. Also, the DLC game on Nocturne is atrocious, and I hate it. Yeah, like, all this extra content is like another $60 and fucking. It's like, this is a fucking PS2 game that you remastered, dude. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that ends our little discussion right there. So we can now move on to the fun topic, E3 2021 speculation, the leaks and all that is going on since E3 is next week. I want to take a big moment to sit here and for the love of fucking God, will everybody out there, for like every time we get around to E3 season, can you all stop posting about a fucking supposed leak of the new Nintendo Switch, for fuck's sake? Every year, every fucking year. Oh, new specs and speculations and when it's going to be released. It's going to be announced before E3. New Nintendo Switch hardware. Shut the fuck up! 4.5 years straight, you guys have been saying that Nintendo's about to reveal the brand new Nintendo Switch upgraded HD edition with 4K whatever. Please shut the fuck up already. I'm tired of it. Please. People were saying it was going to be announced before E3. Well, we got a few days left. Where's that announcement? And I doubt it's going to be at E3, because Nintendo abandoned E3 10 years ago.
Well, they are going to be there. They did say that they're doing.
They're going to be there to show off games. That's what they do. They display games.
So here's the thing about that. Nintendo officially stated on their Twitter, when they announced the date and time for their Direct, that it is, and I'm not even kidding when they put it this exact way, in quotation marks, a software-focused Nintendo Direct. They don't normally do stuff like that. The last time they said something was software-focused, we got the Switch Lite.
Yes, but the Switch Lite at least had all the evidence shown and leaked months in advance before it's an announcement. We actually had credible sources. We had credible evidence to prove its existence. Nothing has been verified or even amounted to credibility other than he said, she said, oh, it's going to come with an OLED display. It's going to display 4K graphics. It's going to have a brand new a dock system that will allow it to output the higher resolution. It's going to have an 8-inch screen or something like that. I mean, like, this is the same kind of stuff they've been repeating for the last 4 years. No one's come up with anything new. Other than, well, no, they said one new thing, and that's going to have a built-in Ethernet port in the dock. That's it. That's the only new thing that people have mentioned so far. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it from the horse's mouth.
No, for sure, absolutely.
But,
how credible do you think then it is that Bolanger actually had pricing up for it at €399?
Is Bolanger the same people that revealed the Nintendo Switch Lite peripherals and accessories, or was that some other European?
This is a
site?
retailer site. No. This is a retailer.
Because there was a retailer that leaked the Nintendo Switch Lite stuff.
I don't remember.
I just have this mental image of a horse breaking into Robert's house, running up to him, and fucking throwing up a Nintendo Switch on him now.
It better be that unicorn from the G4 commercials that come over and just starts throwing up Skittles and Switches.
It's just going to be Kofi Kingston in a mask.
Good.
I'll go with
absolutely the
that.
best
I will accept
possible
that.
outcome.
I will
That
accept
is
that.
that is the best possible outcome. Yes,
He'll throw up
absolutely.
at me and with the Nintendo Switch coming out of his mouth, and then I'll get smacked in the face by pancakes.
Do pancakes
yeah,
anymore.
okay.
Biggie left.
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, no. So I don't know specifically if they were. I'd have to actually go do some digging. But yeah, so there is a French retailer, Boulange. I don't know how to pronounce that. Boulanger. They're saying that it is going to be released at €3.99 retail.
So we're
Apparently
looking
it
at
has
$450 for US dollars then, huh?
It, I don't know. They may just unify it at $3.99 across the board, depending on where you're at. I don't know. We don't have anything other than the one thing, and it's Euro price tag. Roughly, that would convert to what, $486 US,
Mm-hmm.
give or take. It's supposed to have 2 screens. It closes just like a DS. It's normal screen on top, touch on bottom. Everything else is identical.
I fucking hope not.
Yeah,
That already
I
sounds
think
like a
I hate that.
monstrosity, to be truthfully honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't believe the picture, but the pricing falls in line with pretty much where we would have expected it to be based on it being 4K.
I mean, I can believe
4K
on the
in dock
possibility
anyway.
that Nintendo is not making a Switch Pro, but more or less making like a next gen like successor. I can believe that because usually after you release a console, hardware manufacturing companies are already hard at work making the successor to their console. And it's usually in planning and development for at least 2 years, and then they're doing the specs and all that other stuff for another 2 to 3 years before they finally reveal everything.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And I mean, the Switch is such a really interesting like point of contention for people because Nintendo has gotten themselves to a point now where like they're only releasing one console. And for a while it was the Wii, and then it was the Wii U, and then when the Wii U kind of ate shit, they just were like, I guess we're just all in on the DS. So they made the 3DS, and then they made the 3DSi, and then they made the new 3DS and the 2DS, which we don't talk about because it's not as good. And then like they were like, it's the Switch, it's all the Switch, and they just went all in on the Switch. And a lot of 3DS people were like, but wait, what about our handheld? They're like, but the Switch is handheld. I mean, yes, technically, but
Yeah. Well, yes, but actually, no.
yes, but actually no. So there's a lot of weird shit that's going on right now, and a lot of people are like, this is the year. If it's going to happen, this is when it's going to happen. If we're going to get an announcement, it will be at the direct. It'll be at the end of the direct. They'll go, oh, and just one more thing, and they'll probably tease an idea of what it's going to look like. I don't know that they're going to talk about price point yet because that's just not something that would be intelligent. Because if we just heard about it, and it's not coming out in like 6 months, there's literally no reason to announce a price point yet. But the fact that they went out of their way to say that it is a software focused event basically is like, that's you know, it's a 50-50 shot at that point, rather than it just being like, oh, that's speculation, it's not going to happen. Like the last time they said that, they revealed the light. So it's entirely plausible that they could finally announce the Pro, especially with a lot of games that have come out within the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 months that could absolutely look better if they released a Pro. So it's a matter of timing. Are they gonna do it? We won't know until, next week. But it is entirely plausible that they do have something. They might tease it like Sony did with the PS5, and then that's just sort of it for 6 months.
Aaron, what does a Goomba smell like?
Yeah, that's a really good question. What do
Probably
the Goombas
bad.
smell like? I mean, they are a fungus.
probably just mushrooms and feet.
I stand by bad.
Most likely that.
Yeah. Bad is definitely the right way to go.
So outside of let's get everybody else's thought about Nintendo Switch HD rumors. How do you feel about that, Spence? Do you find any of this to be credible? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know. We have 9 million technology leaks and rumors a day.
Mm-hmm.
I've just kind of started to ignore most of them until the announcement for it. I think a lot of that comes from being like really involved in the phone industry for a long time,
Oh yeah,
where
that's
it was the Samsung Galaxy, who gives a fuck, is rumored to be this and that and this and that and this and this, and then it's never that. And I was like, okay, well, what was the point in those 400 articles that we read and wrote for it to just be nothing like what you thought it was?
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. It's easy to get clicks from that. You know, it draws people's attention. They're gonna click it. They're gonna go, oh, this doesn't mean shit, and they're gonna close it. So I kind of ignore most of them until, you know, the company says this thing exists, and as soon as they say officially this device exists, and you kind of start seeing like spec leaks and rumors, then I kind of start to give it a little bit more credibility because the device exists, we know it exists, and it's more likely that the specs are leaked than the whole thing being leaked when we had no proof that it existed at all.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right. Well, that's more credence to it, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know that I really care if they do at this point. Like, I don't feel like I necessarily need an on-the-go 4K screen to play video games because that thing is going to eat that battery.
Well, the 4K would only be in docked mode, is what everyone reports.
Yeah. I mean,
because I don't even.
I don't know. I guess I also
an
like
iPad with a 4K screen at all. That would just be ridiculous.
Oh yeah, there are.
Oh, there are.
Yeah, there are. Oh yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
I think the iPads are pushing like 120 hertz at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I only really play like Nintendo first-party titles and indie games on my Switch. So I don't really give a shit if it's 4K.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm that worried about a game looking that good, I'm probably going to play it on my PC. Or, like, if it's one of the games for a new console, like the Xbox or the PS5, I might care more. But, you know, on my Switch that I mostly play Mario Kart on with friends, I don't really give a shit. But I mean, it being your only console, that's a different story. You know, if you're only buying one thing, you want the best you can get. And the Switch is the best of both worlds, in my opinion. Of I pop it on the TV, I can play it. I pick it up, I walk around the house, I can play it. I need to leave and go on a trip, whatever. I can play it on a train, bus, whatever it is, and you can play the exact same game and the exact same save the entire time. Versus if you're playing on a PC, unless you have a great laptop that somehow has a really good battery, you're not taking it with you to play games. So I would like to see a 4K version because I hate that people that are only buying a Switch are missing out on some of those things. But, you know, I don't know if they'll do it or not.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. And it's just, like I said before, like it's one of those things that I could not care less about leaks and rumors anymore until I see it happen.
All right. How about before we move on, Mark? Yeah. Sorry. Let's see what your thoughts are, Mark, before we move on to the other things about E3.
Right. I honestly just think that it's a lot easier for people in general to care about like software speculation versus hardware speculation, because with hardware speculation we're so used to, as you know, MPI said, all of this crazy fucking bullshit where they announce like 800 goddamn things and none of them end up being the case, and it's just such a fucking waste of time and energy to even read about it.
And it doesn't
whereas
help
with
that you
like
got YouTubers spreading this like every day.
yeah, whereas
Oh my
with
God.
games it's just like we're much more willing to suspend or like, you know, speculate on like, you know, systemic changes and things of that nature. I don't really know why that is exactly, but I think it's probably just because like we're not quite burned out on making wish lists of things we want our games to be yet.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, moving on from Nintendo Switch talk, because we're really, to be honest, that's the thing that everyone has been talking about for the last, 2 months leading up to this E3. Especially since, E3 2020 didn't happen. And if it wasn't for the COVID shutdown, E3 it was probably going to shut down completely regardless, but they had a nice little escape excuse. So, what are some of the rumors or speculation or games that you are interested in seeing announced or shown off? Let's start with you, Spencer. What are you looking forward to being announced?
Well, there are big rumors. We're seeing Halo Infinite multiplayer, which I am super excited about. But I feel like I'm only going to be really excited about it if we see people actually playing it and not just like a multiplayer trailer. Because we know the game's going to have multiplayer. There's zero doubt in our mind about that.
Yeah.
But unless it's like we have like a 4v4 teams on stage, I'm going to be a little disappointed. Because we're this far along. We've seen gameplay of the campaign, so what's left is the multiplayer gameplay. And I swear to fucking God, if they show nothing but a fucking battle royale, I'm gonna punch my monitor. I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna be so angry. I do not care for battle royales. I don't care if they put one in the game. That's fine, but please just show regular multiplayer. Fuck.
If they do show regular multiplayer, are you also hoping that they actually overhauled the game's graphics? Because people were pissed about the last trailer and display that the last time they talked about Halo Infinite.
I mean, the last time that they showed anything was the campaign, and it was a while ago. So I think they were kind of at a point of it just wasn't done. Like the graphics just weren't done yet. So the only thing that looked weird to me was like the one brute's face that the entire community somehow was like just laser focused on because there was nothing else to bitch about, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. I thought it looked fine. It didn't look amazing, but it also didn't look god awful either. So I'm here or there on it. I'm not like. I guess I just wasn't disappointed by the graphics like a lot of people were. I was
really
just
disappointed
excited
by
that
it
there
either.
was another one. Like, I'm just excited there's a new game. But I don't know. I get and I guess just maybe there's other games that I know are going to come out and have like just these beautiful over the top graphics. So I'm like, I can live with that. I'll take my graphics in those games.
Well, plus you still got Hellblade 2 to look forward to.
That was the next thing I was going to say. I want to see more Hellblade.
Yeah.
I'm so ready to see more Hellblade. I don't know if we will, but God, I hope we do. And I would
That'd be nice.
I would love to see more of that game and a release date. It just I'm looking forward to that game. But other than that, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like I've seen a whole lot of like rumors or guesses online as much like I have in the past. And I don't know if that's just because people are like heavily focused on the whole Switch thing, or if people are just kind of like, I don't really give a shit. Like, they're gonna announce the games. People announce games, almost every day now. So it'll be interesting to see. I'll be interested to see how Microsoft and Bethesda do together.
Oh,
because
yeah,
that's
true.
one show
Doing one
this
show
year.
now, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, they're, Microsoft
They are
owns
owned by
Bethesda,
them, yeah.
so like, why roll out the money to rent 2 theaters and do 2 shows when you can do one?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really curious to see like what that's gonna mean for just like Bethesda future stuff, because before they didn't have any form of exclusivity because they weren't owned by anyone. Now they're owned by a console manufacturer. So is this going to be the year where they're like, this game comes out only for Xbox and PC?
Well, so far as I remember hearing, Spencer did state that the current obligations will stay on the platforms that they were originally intended for. So
how far out does that go, though?
That we don't know.
Like,
We-
is that
We have
'cause
not heard anything past that point. Like
what's
the
their
only
new IP?
Which one?
That space game. They did say that
Yeah,
would
the
be
space one.
the space one. They did
Starfield.
say would be Xbox and PC exclusive.
So that to me kind of is like they might be dropping some bombs of these
I'm
future
sure.
projects are only going to be for these consoles or
Windows.
have, a window of exclusivity of a year or
Mhm.
so.
I'm calling it Doom Forever, Xbox One, Xbox Series X exclusive.
Doom
No PC.
Forever.
Fuck you.
Excellent. Doom Forever. Excellent.
That was on purpose.
No, I know. That'd be great.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it's gonna be,
And
it's
then
gonna
what's
be
the sequel to
exclusively
that
on the
one? Be
console. You
called
can't
Doom
play it
and
on
Doomer.
Doom and Doomer.
Bold of you to assume that there won't be a sequel.
I
You
know.
want to hear the
right?
most annoying sound in the world? Chainsaw.
Yep.
Yeah. Mondays,
Yeah,
am I right?
guess-
Chainsaw! Chainsaw!
yeah, I don't really know what else to expect. Like, we might see a Forza game or something, but
Yeah.
Eh?
For me, I am probably looking forward to. Well, we're gonna have to go back to Nintendo now because I'm not talking about the Switch HD.
This guy bitches about Nintendo for 30 minutes and then wants to roll back to it.
No, I'm bitching about people spreading rumors about it. But I'm looking forward to possibly seeing some kind of announcement in regards to a Breath of the Wild 2. And maybe we're going to hear something about, maybe we'll get a teaser trailer of the new title for Metroid Prime 4. To remind us that it's still in development.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off at every single Metroid fan when it ends up being Star Fox. I'm just saying.
I mean, if
hilarious.
you're gonna revive one of the bastard children of the Nintendo, I mean, it's either going to be Star Fox or it's going to be F-Zero because they don't care about Metroid. They've been trying to kill that franchise for years.
I mean, I'm just excited for more Splatoon 3, but
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Oh
Also,
yeah, I wonder if we will see more of that. I forgot that they announced that.
they snuck that in. They snuck that in a few months ago, and I'm like,
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm
'Cause
so
I know,
excited for that bow. Oh, that looks
yeah, I
so
know Fishhook's
good.
excited about that. I know Kate, my wife, is really excited about that. We had to buy another Switch so she could play. We could play Splatoon together.
Oh, that's awesome.
that works. On the other side, I wouldn't be surprised if we finally saw something in regards to the next Elder Scrolls. Because, I mean, they did announce it 2 E3s ago that's saying, hey, yeah, we're working on it, but we got nothing to show you but this fancy title screen.
Here's a picture.
What's that?
Here's a picture.
Yeah, that's all they had to show. Here's a picture. So if they don't announce it at E3, they'll probably announce it at the Video Game Awards at the end of the year. I mean, that seems to be the new E3, to be truthfully honest. The E3, the award show. We got 10 awards, but we're going to show off 90 trailers within a span of 90 minutes.
Well, that and what is it? I think it's Thursday is when that is happening. There's the summer game show.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Keely's thing.
Yeah, so I mean, there's going to be stuff in that is
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
actually
big
am more
too.
excited for the games of summer that Jeff Keighley started last year. Where it was how many weeks did it last? Where they had some kind of like announcement like almost every day or a showcase from every company every day for like what 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's about that. Yeah, he's still doing it. He's still gonna do it. He's been doing like side interviews and answering fan questions the last couple of days through like Twitter and YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we had some huge announcements from Atlas and who else? Arc System Works with their stream presentations during the Games of Summer last year, and those were pretty cool.
Wow.
So, how about you, Mark? What are you waiting for?
Something I want to play, I guess.
Good answer.
really
Oh man,
It's pretty fair.
The only thing I
that's-
can think of
that's hella
honestly is
fair right now.
like SMT5. There's not really anything else I can think of that is on the horizon that I'm really interested in. In all seriousness, if they did announce a remake for Code Veronica, I would much prefer that than attempting remaking Resident Evil 4 again. and I didn't like the original Code Veronica, so hopefully a remake will change my mind on it.
That's fair.
But beyond that, like I can't think of anything that I'm like, man, I hope this gets announced or I hope this comes out or whatever. I guess maybe some more details on the upcoming new Mass Effect, but we're probably not going to hear anything about that for another year at least. So
At
yeah,
least.
I can't think of anything that I'm like really super excited about just because.
Aren't you excited for the new PS5, Xbox Series X GT5 port? GTA 5?
I
Oh
don't
man,
even know.
thank God.
I don't even own it on PC, man.
I know,
Thank
right?
God we made that shit.
God, you know,
I've been
it's-
playing GTA for like the past, I don't know, 5-6 months, playing it online, and I don't even give a shit that they made it for the Series X and the PS5. Like the game came out fucking forever ago. It's the new Skyrim at this point. Jesus.
I mean, I remember when it was originally released on Xbox 360.
It's like what, 2012?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. People like GTA RP.
Yeah, but you can't do that on console.
Well,
So who cares?
Exactly.
get good, bitch. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll let them know to go ahead and figure out how to make it on there.
There you go.
Not even Horizon. I didn't really care for the first Horizon. Like, it's fine, but
I mean, it's an
that's-
absolutely gorgeous game, both graphically and like.
Oh, Forbidden West?
The combat looked pretty cool.
yeah, like it's just I got like 20 hours into that game and I just tapped out. Like I never completed it, and I don't feel
Oh, kind of like the
particularly
Yakuza
bad about-
series.
Yes, except that the Yakuza series I feel is much more stylish.
But
Aha.
okay, that's
I'm
a
a fucking-
you deserve this. Where is it?
Where's that timeout? I'm waiting for it. The
Yeah.
message has been deleted by a moderator.
Put him in timeout, Mark. He deserves it for that one. You deleted all of his messages.
There it is.
That's what happens when you time someone out.
That's
I thought that's
when
what
you
happens
type
when you
someone out.
ban somebody, not time somebody
Nope.
out. Whatever.
All of-
Time somebody out, it
either
just
way.
clears the chat.
You've
There
been
you go.
deleted, Paw Jack.
10 seconds. Deal with it. Wow, harsh but fair.
Harsh but fair. Harsh but fair.
That's
What's up?
fair.
Yeah.
GTA5 is only 2 years younger than Skyrim.
So
Yep.
it came out in 2013 then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh God, it can. 2013. Yeah, so like
Skyrim 11.
Yeah.
that's like fucking. God.
So GTA is what? 8 years old?
9. Or no, 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 9.
They're fucking going to middle school together at this point. My God.
Yeah. Good job, guys. Let me count it on my fingers.
Put up your fingers, time for counting time.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I enjoy the game, but we don't fucking need it again.
No.
And the only reason we have it again is because it has online, and that just prints Rockstar money.
Mhm.
Oh well, I'm just waiting for the announcement for another Doom 1 and Doom 2 port for the new consoles as well. If you want to talk about games that have been ported too many times, there you go, the original Dooms. Literally, I think they've been on every console at this point.
Do they even, like, have updated graphics or anything?
Widescreen, maybe.
Why?
Really.
Because you can't get enough of Doom 1 and Doom 2. That's why.
Just okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know what?
exactly
No,
how I
it's
feel.
it's the same thing with Skyrim and GTA. Stop fucking buying it, and they'll stop remaking it.
See, I
You
got a
don't
problem.
fucking
I
need it
practically
again.
own several copies of the original Doom.
Stop it.
I can't help
Part
it.
of
It's
the
a good
problem.
fucking game.
Yeah, Sims is pretty much on everything too, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So
But that's because EA doesn't hate money. They just hate your money.
yeah. Anything else that you guys are looking to see from like some of the other press conferences? Like, is there anything you're looking forward to from like, let's say, Ubisoft, Square Enix?
No.
Nothing interesting to you. Do you think
Well,
Amazon is
Ubisoft
going to have a
is-
conference? You think Amazon's going to have a conference to show off their Luna streaming service?
They do
God,
not.
Isn't there a schedule?
Hold on.
There is a schedule. I'm looking right at it. They
Yeah, I
do
was about to
not.
say, let me
However,
pull it up.
so here's the thing. So there's a couple of things. Ubisoft is supposedly going to be announcing a new open world shooter that takes the concept of Splinter Cell and puts it into open world.
Oh boy, new
As
Tom
well
Clancy
as-
game.
No, it is not Tom Clancy related at all. It is simply a franchise that takes the concept of Splinter Cell and I want to say Ghost Recon and sort of like mixes them together in like a game.
So in other words,
Don't
we're
know-
making another Division, because that's literally what the Division was.
No, it's going to be like Splinter Cell. It's going to be stealth focused.
You could get into open firefights in the Division. It wasn't always advisable, but you could do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
With
sure.
Splinter Cell, if you get into an open firefight, unless the
You're
game
fucked.
expected of you, fuck you.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Mhm.
So Ubisoft is going early. They're going to be doing stuff on Saturday. Gearbox has one on Saturday. Xbox and
Oh, yeah.
Bethesda is Sunday at 10 a.m., followed by Square Enix, Warner Brothers for Back for Blood. There's the PC gaming show Monday on the 14th. These are the ones that really kind of like blew me the fuck away because I didn't even realize they were doing games. Verizon,
Yeah, what's that? What's that all about?
Intellivision,
In television, I'm not surprised at, because that their little Amico has been delayed because of the COVID, and because of what's going on in Myanmar, because
Yeah.
revolution,
Oh, yeah.
well, not revolution, but rioting over an oppressive militant regime, and so they're probably
Mythical?
going to try and show off the system to get people interested in it again.
I'm
So-
sure. Mythical's got a small 40-minute thing they're going to do on Monday as well after the Take-Two panel. Capcom is the one that I'm really interested in seeing because they pretty much have stated on Twitter that it's going to be about Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter Stories, Resident Evil Village, and I have to go back and look at the tweet. Nothing from the fighting games division. Nothing on their tweets about the fighting game division. Which means we still have no idea about who that fifth DLC character is for the final season of Street Fighter V.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they're actually going to have any founding in the rumors that, yet again, Street Fighter VI is leaked. So, we'll see. Following that, Tuesday on the 15th, we have two bigger ones, which is the Nintendo Direct at 9 a.m., followed by, and I quote, 3 hours of gameplay during the Nintendo Treehouse Live. Of what? We have no idea. Simply that they will be playing games for 3 hours, which is longer than any of the other Treehouse Directs that they've ever done, because they typically cap those at 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that means...
They licensed that game that they announced. It's like fucking Pokemon with guns.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck! The one where you get to be a fucking poacher and steal other people's fucking like creatures to build houses and guns on a fucking factory line. Was it Pal Trader, Palmon, something like that?
Pal Place or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
it's-
reading a Twitter thread about that game the other day that they
fucking
made
great.
another game.
Yeah, Craftopia.
That, yeah, and everything in this game is just like that game remade. Like it's just
No.
the same game, just with like a different like point to it.
Craftopia is basically a Breath of the Wild clone with no story and actual ripped assets from both Breath of the Wild and Devil May Cry.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the abilities that you get later on is actually Virgil's fucking sword loops.
Jesus.
Like, I'm not even kidding. It literally puts the swords around you. They look exactly like Virgil's katanas from DMC5, and you do the exact same motions and moves as Virgil from DMC5. It's not even fucking hidden. It's hilarious how awful they ripped off all of those sprites and animations. But yeah, the two big ones there, that, and then the other one is Bandai Namco.
And speaking of Bandai Namco, do you think we're going to finally hear something about the George R.R. Martin game?
Elden Ring?
Yeah. think they only announced it
That's like saying the
years ago.
Switch Pro exists.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. We're still not going to hear anything about Elden Ring. I stake so much real estate on the fact that Elden Ring only existed that 1 year, and then they just got into such a development hell that no one knows. I don't even think that Bandai Namco knows.
All right, which one has a better
with that
chance
game.
of being announced during E3? Metroid Prime 4 or Elden Ring? Like
Metroid,
shown in
absolutely.
a playable 4.
Absolutely Metroid. Absolutely Metroid.
All right, I mean, we're pretty much getting close to the end of the show here, so we had a little bit of fun with our speculation. What's
3 hours of Wii music.
3 hours of Wii music. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can you see Shigeru Miyamoto just coming out and just waving his arms around?
It's literally just going to be 3 hours of them playing a video game, no talking, and the Wii Shop theme playing in bossa nova overtones. It'll be fucking fantastic.
I've heard of worse things.
I mean, right? So you're saying there's a chance. I mean, I'm not saying that it will actually be there, but Metroid has a higher percentage chance of actually existing over whatever the hell Elden Ring is supposed to be. And I think a lot of it is purely just because FromSoft has just disappeared off the map.
Well, they always disappear off the map, and then they reappear with some new creation that everybody wants to play.
Right, but the only thing that they've announced in the last 5 years was Elden Ring. So where'd they go? The last time they went away for any length of time and then came back with something that no one expected, they produced Bloodborne. So maybe it'll be amazing. It'll blow our fucking asses off. But it's been a really long time, and no one has heard anything from anyone at FromSoft about anything, regardless of whether or not this game actually exists. So, I have no idea. But yes, Metroid has a much higher percentage chance of actually being a real thing over Elden Ring this year.
Alrighty. So, let's just leave it at that right now, unless Mark or Spencer wants to get their final thoughts in about the E3 roundup speculation.
I would be interested to know about Elden Ring if they're going to say anything about it, but it's going to be Dark Souls again. I don't need to, watch like a 2-hour presentation to know that that's what it's going to be. It's going to be Dark Souls again.
What
I
about
can't really think of anything else.
Okay.
Something we might see with Nintendo is some more stuff about the Pokemon game coming out next year.
Which one? Arceus?
Legend, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to know more about that. I'm interested in it because I was talking to Fishhook about this. Like, I'm not buying the Diamond and Pearl remakes. I never even played Diamond and Pearl, and I'm not buying the remakes. But a game that's not the same thing again, but in the Pokemon world, has my interest.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
Also, we'll probably see a Switch Pro.
Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
As soon as he ranted about it, I had to say it. I had to do it.
Can we go now?
Can we go now?
All right,
wanna
go around
go
the round table as we say our goodnights. What has everybody got planned on the horizon? So, Jan?
I will be streaming tomorrow. New Genesis comes out at 1 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, so I will probably be playing the Japanese account for a while in the daytime, and then I will be streaming the US account in the evening, starting around 6 to 6:30 Mountain. Thursday is my normal Monster Hunter Rise open lobbies. We're in the high rank, so anyone that wants to come is more than welcome to join. I will always have the room code and password on the screen.
All right, Mark, what do you got going on, or are you going to abstain?
At the moment, I don't really have anything in particular planned, so yeah, I'll abstain just because I don't have anything to discuss at the moment, such as that goes.
Are you guys still
Alrighty.
doing the vampire campaign, or is that kind of still on a hiatus?
It's on hiatus right now.
Okay.
Okay, and Spencer, what have you got going on?
So I actually have stuff going on for the first time in a while. So Sunday during the Microsoft Bethesda show, Fishhook, FPC, and I will be streaming and talking about it because we are both pretty big Xbox fans. So we're gonna be watching it together and discussing everything that's happening. We're also going to be announcing a project that he and I are going to be working on together for something. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you come watch. Other than that, I'm hoping to either next week or the week after try to get back into some form of a streaming schedule myself. I got pretty busy with life adult stuff and my other work, my freelance editing work that I do outside of making my own stuff. So I just kind of got too busy and needed a break. But I'm hoping next week or the week after to come back, and I've got Resident Evil Village downloaded and installed because that was like the main thing I wanted to stream this year. So we've got that ready to go. Yeah, so if you guys want to watch that or know when I'm planning to do that, just follow me on Twitter. It's on the screen, or for audio listeners, it's just at MPI Creates. That's where I'll pretty much talk about everything.
All right, guys, and as for me, I am going to be streaming this upcoming Sunday, taking part in a Virtual Fighter 5 tournament with my friend Virtual Kazama. We are going to both be streaming one half of the bracket. He'll pick the first 16 matches. I'll be taking the second set of 16 matches, so we can help run this tournament a lot more quicker, a lot more efficiently. I will be trying to bring back Monster Hunter Mondays, and Tuesdays, of course, will be whatever. I'll be streaming whatever when it's not a GVN live. I am probably going to stream and react to the Microsoft Game Conference E3 press conference, just so I can see them announce Halo Infinite's Battle Royale mode and laugh my ass off.
I can't watch it.
And,
I can't actually watch it.
that's a shame.
I have an NDA.
You have an NDA. Jesus.
Yep.
Alrighty, well, we're going to leave it on that note. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Fight Club Hubs. On behalf of everyone here at GVN Live, thank you for being patient with us and rejoining us after our long hiatus. Good night.
Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.